Hey YouTube, it's Shanna. I am going to take you through one of my sketchbooks today. This is an Arteza 8 by 8" sketchbook, and these are one of my favorite sketchbooks. They are just wood pulp paper. They're not cotton, they're not fancy, but they're special. I love these. So I'll show you overhead and let's go through this sketchbook. Okay, this particular sketchbook is actually one of my favorites. I really grew a lot um, as an artist during the time I did this one. I started this probably about sometime in the summer of 2023. So this took me about 6 months to finish. I've had this one finished for a while actually, so maybe a month or two. Anyway, not that that's terribly important, but I did a lot of experimenting in the beginning of this before I really found my flow, but I was starting to get into florals. I started with leaves. I did a lot of leaves when I was getting started, and I took Inga Weave's course on Domestika, and I played with her style a little bit. I didn't really resonate with it, but I think she's an awesome artist. I love her style. It's not for me necessarily, but some of this early on in here was definitely influenced by her. This was just totally random stuff. Don't worry, we're gonna get to the good stuff, I promise. This, I mean, this is a sketchbook. To me, it's not a precious thing. I don't need it to be perfect. I just played a lot in this until I found my groove. Okay, that is a copy of the cover of Inga's book, Painting Calm, I believe it is called. And so at the time I was trying to get into loose, I was trying to paint loose and learn how to do that and doing it with leaves. So that's what I was doing here. There's also a bunch of random stuff in here, so I don't even know. This was a copy of a painting by Luce Jamalt on Instagram. Pretty much a straight up copy. Every once in a while I will do that, and I always try to mention who it is that I copied, and I would never post that on Instagram or anything. It was just really for me. Here's a hilarious snake I painted. I thought that turned out pretty funny. And I was, again, playing with loose leaves. Most of it was, in my opinion, unsuccessful. But again, as everyone always says, you have to paint a lot of bad paintings to get to the good ones. And that has definitely been true for me. I was painting animals for a hot minute and I pretty much let that go very quickly. I don't like getting into all the details. Like, painting this was so stressful to me, even though, I mean, it's not like it's a great painting, but it's okay. It looks like the thing. So that's a success. I like this because it was just a picture in one of my kids' books from the library, and I like how that turned out actually. And that little snail, we were on vacation and my mother-in-law took my boys for a walk and they found all of these snails and brought them back to the house. It was really funny, so that's why I painted that snail. I'm a big fan of abstract painting. I go through my phases, so that's where that's coming from. More loose leaves, oops. More abstract and loose leaves. I went through quite a phase with this style of painting, and it's kind of a long story where it came from. I might do another video on that because the progression of this type of painting has actually taken me pretty far. My inspiration from doing this has led me to more of my current style, and I think it's an interesting story, but it's not for this video for sure. So I just really was having fun playing with layering these colors and trying different color combinations and seeing what worked, adding some text, adding some little scribble marks, and I really enjoyed, I did a lot of these paintings, not all in this book, but I did a lot, a lot of them. So I think this bug is totally awesome and hilarious. And then clearly I didn't know what to paint on this side, but I used to paint a lot of circles when I didn't know what to paint. And also sometimes I would do squares. I don't find myself doing that anymore because I have different things that I fall back on when I sit down and I have no idea what to paint. But it's so fun just to play with colors and not worry about composition and the final product, but just have fun. And every once in a while it turns out really good. Like I actually really like this painting. um it's makes me happy. So I believe I was following a YouTube video for this spread by Crystal Tan Art. So I made it my own, but I was definitely following her lead on the florals. This is when I first started getting into florals really seriously, this past summer in 2023, and it is now the beginning of 2024. So I've been doing almost exclusively floral painting for over 6 months, and I love it. It's awesome. That's where my passion is, one of my passions in painting. So anyway, I like this page. That's fun. I started trying to paint florals from reference images, and I still do that, but I painted this from, I think it was Flower Color Guide or Flower Color Theory, one of those. I don't really like those books. I think a lot of people talk about those books and enjoy those books. Personally, they were not for me, but I actually painted this a while after this one. I had left this page blank, so I was much looser with this, which I like more. I don't actually love this painting, but I was trying to learn how to paint looser. This to me it's loose, but it's also a bit tight. And that is not the way I really want to paint florals. So this was leaning towards me finding more of my style with loose florals. My mother-in-law has a painting from like a random home goods store that looks almost just like this, so I just copied that. This, yes, okay, that is oil pastels over top of a failed watercolor that I put black gesso over because the watercolor was so terrible. It's just a hot mess, but it's in there to stay because it's a sketchbook, so. Oh, yes, this page was inspired by Laura Horn. I think I was watching one of her YouTube videos and playing with her style elements a little bit, and I don't love this, but it's all part of learning and experimenting and going on a painting journey. I started to here depart a bit from my other style, which was this. This is more tight, more clean lines, more controlled, I guess, painting. And then I was trying to get a little looser with these abstracts, and I don't know, these are okay. They're not like earth shattering, but I kind of like these colors. Maybe a little bit of green in there would have been fun. I've tagged some of these pages to go back to just inspire myself, but again, I was playing with the same sort of abstract concept with these color blobs. And these two pages, I would say I didn't ever consider them to be finished, but I just fell in love with the colors on these pages as they were, and I didn't want to do anything else to them because I was just in love with what I had done, even though that it does feel a bit unfinished to me. But yeah, some abstract play, some more color play, nothing super special. Oh yeah, so I did play a little bit with laying down my colors and then sketching leaves on top, which I didn't like really how these turned out, but I can appreciate the process and what I learned from it and the gorgeous colors. Okay, so I must have hit a day where I had no idea what to paint, so I just swatched colors. Then I worked on an abstract, which this I think was inspired by, oh, definitely an acrylic painter. It may have been Amira Rahim. I would have to go back and look to see. I didn't write it down, but I basically took one of her acrylic paintings and tried to translate it into my own version of a watercolor. So that's what that is. Playing with florals, figuring out that I really don't like painting flowers like this. Another abstract that I didn't really finish, I would say. More florals. Again, figuring out what I don't like. This I do not like. This I think is cute. It's super simple, super basic, easy thing to paint. But I thought it was cute. This painting, I have painted many of these floral bouquets in a vase, and I was just playing with trying to get some dark values like in between the flowers and making crazy scribble marks on top. I really like this. I should do a video tour of all of the paintings like this I've done, because I've done a lot of them. And I like to revisit them in my sketchbooks from time to time. I think I did more abstracts in this book than I thought, but I just love those colors together. It's making me want to paint looking at these. Same thing. These were times when I didn't know what to paint, so I just played with colors in my sketchbook before I tried like something on a loose sheet of paper that was bigger. So just be inspired by the fact that you can do anything in your sketchbook. You can just throw paint around and try not to be so precious about it. This one, I really like how it turned out. That's about that. That's about all I have to say about that. This abstract to me is not that great. Oh, this one was, I had started this painting and I left it unfinished. I did like a couple of the flowers and I got really frustrated with it. So I went back way later on and tried to finish it. And it's kind of hilarious to me now. But again, I was just learning and playing. Here's more of my circles. That is a very meditative practice for me, painting circles like that. I would highly recommend it. And I think that, I don't know if it was in this book, but oh, where's my other page of circles? It's not in here. I think it was a different one. But I used to do them like all the same size. And then I finally figured out, hey, let's try a little composition with this and do them, try to do them in different sizes. So yeah, that's another way you can play with composition and learning about that. More swatching, and there I went a little more on all the same size, and I was just swatching. So I don't know what I was doing here. More circles. Probably just having an off day, and I honestly just needed something to do, so this is what I did. Oh, then I played with writing in them. That's kind of cool. Here's a floral that doesn't excite me too much, but looking at it now, I think it's cute. Here are two pages that I adore. I was painting out of a book called Flowers. Oh goodness, what's it called? Flower School? Yes, let me show you. Flower School by Calvert Crary. This is a great book that I have been hugely inspired by. And these two paintings both came from that book, I'm pretty sure. So this one definitely did. This was like a little tiny image in the book, but I just kind of made it bigger and made it really loose. I want to just make sure. Oh yeah, look, it's right on the back. So this page inspired this painting, and I've always just loved this one. I don't know why. It just makes me happy, and I just love how it turned out. I actually ended up painting a bigger one that also came out pretty good, but yeah, that was just one of my most favorite florals from this era of painting. Another floral bouquet in a vase that, maybe the colors aren't amazing, but how do you ever get to the good paintings? You paint the ones that are mediocre. I was playing with loose irises. Um, I find them a bit intimidating, but I would like to try to paint more of them. Oh, yeah, there's a page that went crazy. I was just playing with loose leaves, and we'll just move on. Oh, we are done. This is the last page. I was playing with the Kuretake Art Nouveau palette that I had just gotten at this time and painting some loose flowers, doing some crazy stuff with gel pens on top, and I like it. And when I was visiting my family over the summer, my niece drew this little cat for me, and I just think it's adorable. So that ended up back there in that sketchbook. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this sketchbook. Let me go back to my favorite page. Oh, there it is. And this sketchbook has inspired so many paintings for me. Um, and let me know if you have any questions about it. I'd be happy to talk more about it. Thanks for watching. Bye.